The Cave Story Plus Switch release is a phenomenal little bundle that comes with tons of neat goodies for Cave Story fans. A mini CD soundtrack in the Famitrack sound font, a really neat instruction manual with some pretty good art inside, as well as new features like adding new lighting to the game, as well as adding co-op to Cave Story for the first time. While Nicalis isn't the most ideal company to have the rights to Cave Story, they do occasionally do something neat for the game. In fact, one neat thing they did specifically for the release of Cave Story Plus on Switch was reveal that 25 copies of the game were signed by Daisuke Amaya himself. And sure, I'd love to have one of these copies myself, but that's only if I knew these copies were real. Sure, according to Nicalis, they exist somewhere in the world, but despite Cave Story having quite the sizable fan base, it seemed that, at a quick glance at least, not a single signed copy had even been claimed. So this is where I began my search. When I remembered that signed copies existed, I honestly got really excited to begin looking for these copies, and of course began at the most reliable Cave Story sources I knew, the Cave Story subreddit and the Cave Story tribute site. If anybody would know where I might find these copies, it would be here. So I made my post on their pages, sent them out, and got nothing back. Nothing came from either the tribute site or the subreddit. Nobody claimed a single signed copy of the game, and I figured that nobody would reply to my post immediately, so I put a pause here and began phase 2 of my search. I immediately began thinking, where else could I see the insides of people's cases, specifically maybe opening them upon release, and to see if they're signed inside. And then a seemingly good plan hit me. Phase 2 of the search would be consisting of watching tons and tons of unboxings on YouTube. I've watched hours and hours of unboxings, and as ridiculous and bold as it may sound, I do genuinely believe I've watched every single Cave Story Plus unboxing on YouTube, and was surprised to see that not a single person on the platform had gotten a signed copy of the game. Growing desperate, I began to think of more creative ways to find at least one signed copy. I searched through tons of Twitter posts around the day the game was released, checked every reply on the initial tweet that revealed the signed copies, and even turned to eBay to see if anybody was selling a signed copy for a really high price, but nothing. I felt that maybe some people may sell a copy without even realizing Pixel's signature was in one of the boxes, and decided to search for any copy that was being sold secondhand on reselling sites. This was actually the easiest method, as all I'd have to do is see the pictures of inside the case, and that would immediately tell me if it was signed or not. However, this also proved for nothing, as not a single eBay listing shows off the box with a signature. I honestly am starting to believe that not a single signed copy of the game exists. And from here on out, it seemed the only way I can continue my search for a signed copy is by purchasing tons and tons of unopened copies that resellers have on eBay. While I would absolutely love to do this to continue my search, I simply don't have that kind of money. With each unopened copy going from $30 to $50 a pop, I guess finding a copy is truly going to be a mystery that will never be discovered. Until update! Bet you forgot about my community post from earlier. Guess what? We got one. My cry for help on the Reddit showed me to a Twitter user @2osev who has claimed the first signed copy of the game. This marks one of 25 copies found. But sadly, this immediately brings us back to a dead end, and so far there hasn't been any other copies since this post, leaving 24 copies currently unfound. I usually like to end these videos with you guys at least having the positive feeling of learning something new about the game. So while this entire video is about trying to find an extremely rare copy of Cave Story Plus, I think I can at least say these aren't the rarest copies out there, not nearly by a long shot. The rarest obtainable copy of Cave Story would actually be a copy of Cave Story 3D. Yes, this cursed game follows me again. Back in 2012, NIS America announced on their Twitter that they would be hosting an art contest for Cave Story 3D, and only 5 lucky winners would win a signed copy of the game. Now that would truly be near impossible to find, as nobody exactly sells their prizes. I slid into NIS America's DMs to see if they remembered anything about the contest, but got no reply. Sadly, it seems for now we'll never be able to find every single signed copy of the game, but I still hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Hell, If you guys actually have a signed copy of the game, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I would love to see pictures on Discord or Twitter. But until then, that's where this video ends for now. And until my next one, Nerdieo is out. Alright, I figured it'd be fun to buy one of those eBay copies as an end of the video goodie. So I got one right here. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's open the bottom there. Alright, let's get lucky. I do know that this is a launch edition. Ooh, that's split open. That's not good. I do know that this is a launch edition, so we could at least see what got. Yep, no signature. It's alright. No signature. Damn. Alright, well, we could at least do the grab bag thing. So I did lose my quote one, so it'd be nice to get quote again. Because I lost my quote keychain a while ago. I know, sin. Ah! We got him.